Okay, I think we can get started. So hi everyone and good morning. This is Jennifer Targ from the Institute of Technology, Tralee in Ireland. I'd like to welcome you all to the ICT-BIOCHAIN and STAR-ProBio Train the Trainer webinar. So ICT-BIOCHAIN is a VBIJU funded project where the main aim is to identify opportunities for ICT to increase the efficiency of biomass supply chains for the bio-based industry. And STAR-ProBio project is it's an EU project focusing on sustainability, transition assessment, and research of bio-based products. So over the next hour, of course, you'll be hearing a lot about the work that's been done in these two projects. Before we get started, I'll go through a few notices. So the first is that if I could please ask everybody to mute your microphones. And the second is that the session is being recorded, so anything that you might say will be recorded. So we're planning to send this out to everybody after the webinar. And next, there is a chat function. If you can see, there's a little bubble. If you click that, you can put your questions there, and we'll be having a Q&A at the end of the webinar. So any questions that you have, put them in there, and I'll read them out at the end. And finally, be interactive, so we'd appreciate it if you could stay on for that at the end, or if you do leave early to log in and give us your feedback anyways. So yes, so we can get started, I suppose, with the first with the webinar introduction. So I'd like to introduce Judith Andogarte, who is a technical counselor of the Andalusia Regional Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries and Sustainable Development.
Hello. Good morning. Thank you, Jennifer.
Hi.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. And it's a pleasure to share this time with all of you, despite these difficult times that we live. And today we are going to carry out this the trainer called Tools to Enhance Efficiency and Sustainable in the Bio-based Industry. And we have invited the project STAR-ProBio, with whom we share some common goals, as we both are helping to bring Europe to the forefront of bioeconomy. Next, Jennifer, please. Yes, the agenda to follow today is a bit tight, so I won't be reading it all, but I want to highlight that today the prototype of the ICT-BIOCHAIN platform will be launched, and it is an online tool to store and share information regarding regional biomass resources. Next. The aim of this webinar is to present the tools developed by both projects, ICT-BIOCHAIN and STAR-ProBio, where each one will introduce the best practice and lessons learned during its development. Looking at ICT-BIOCHAIN, we will show the information needed to replicate digital innovation hubs across the European bioeconomy regions, and the platform developed during the project timeline. Next. The objective of the ICT-BIOCHAIN project is to identify opportunities for ICT technologies to increase the efficiency of biomass supply chains for the bio-based industry. Next. And our goals have been to establish digital innovation hubs in two model regions, Southeast Ireland and Andalusia, develop bioresources models and ICT, IoT and Industry 4.0 databases, support the growth of the bioeconomy by means the greater availability of competitive price biomass, develop value chain coalitions of multi-actors through knowledge transfer activities, and finally provide a roadmap towards replication of digital innovations hubs for the bio-based sector in Europe while also building networks with other bioeconomy regions. Next. The consortium of the ICT-BIOCHAIN project, as you may have seen already in the website, is composed by 8 partners from 5 countries in Europe. 2 partners are regions, other 2 act as regional facilitators in each demonstrator regions. 3 are research centers, and 1 partner is in charge of communication activities. Next. Next, please. Okay. I want to give the time now for the technical parts, so thank you so much for the attention. Now, the 2 model demonstrator regions will be introduced. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Judith. So next we have Natividad, who is a bioeconomy advisor, also at the Andalusia Regional Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries and Sustainable Development. So Nati, I'll pass it on to you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you, everyone that joined today. I'm going to start with the role of the Regional Ministry. Please, Jennifer. Well, as it has been already mentioned, the Regional Ministry of Agriculture is the project coordinator, but is also acting as one of the testbed locations for the development of digital innovation hubs for biomass mobilization. In our case, we have been focused in 3 value chains: olive, horticulture, and algae, having formed a digital innovation hub with 3 bioresource advisors, 1 for each of these value chains, a business advisor, and a technology one, plus a manager. The file structure will be shown later on by the CTI partner. Next. The Andalusian Regional Ministry of Agriculture is the public body at regional level in charge of the planning and development of the agricultural, livestock, fisheries, and agri-food sectors. A special focus is set on agri-food processing, agricultural and livestock production, plant and animal health, sustainable rural development and the environment, as well as boosting innovation in farms and industries of the sector. We are present in the Andalusian territory with office distributed through the region and headquarters in the 8th province. Next. Andalusia has 3 main capacities. First, a high amount of biomass production, mainly from the agriculture and forestry sectors, where olive, horticulture, and recently added algae are used to produce valuable raw materials. Second, there is a powerful agri-food industry and biochemical companies with capacities to transform these resources into added value products. And last but not least, this is achieved through knowledge transfer by means of the 8 public and 2 private universities, among other research centers in the region, where innovation is always applied to overcome the needs and expand the development of the bioeconomy. Just a number, only taking into account the agriculture-derived biomass, the production is estimated in 8 million tons a year. Besides, it is to highlight how Andalusia was selected by the European Commission as a model demonstrator region to lead the way towards a sustainable chemical production in Europe, as well as Ireland, our partner in this project. Thanks to being model demonstrator regions, we receive assessment and technical support to contribute to generate new opportunities of investment and employment by adding value to the region. Next. Then, after having gained this experience, Andalusia developed its circular bioeconomy strategy, which was approved in September 2018, the first one in Spain. This strategy is now under implementation, divided in 4 strategic lines: and 4 transversal programs, having 17 measures and 39 actions, with priorities at the digitalization of the agri-food sector and the formation of a bioeconomy cluster to organize all bioeconomy stakeholders in our region. You can download it actually from our website if you are interested in this strategy. Next. We also participate in other European projects and initiatives, as for example, the Power for Bio project and Horizon 2020 project to help in the expansion of bioeconomy across EU regions, the Smart Agri Hub, where we lead the cluster Iberia, the thematic partnership under the S3 Agri-Food European platform, or the Rain Waste project, which aims is to reduce organic waste. Also, if you need more information about any of these projects, you can get it online. And well, now next. Well, and thank you so much for your attention. And now, please, Southeast Ireland can also start.
Perfect, thank you, Nati. So the next presentation is from Filippo Giancarlo Martinelli, who is the European Ambassador at the Irish Bioeconomy Foundation and Digital Innovation Hub Manager for Ireland at ICT-BIOCHAIN. So Filippo, I'll pass it over to you now.
Thanks, Jennifer, for the introduction. For short, you can call me Philip. Thanks all for the attendees, 80+ attendees. It's quite remarkable. Next slide, please. So Ireland, as in the case of Andalusia, it all started as a model demonstrator region of Southeast Ireland. Back in the days, this was a strong initiative by European Commission DG Growth. On top of that, indeed, a strong achievement thanks to the BBI, our flagship at the core of the region. As a digital innovation hub, we are mainly active in 3 strands, one being ecosystem development, access to technology, and access to bioresources. In terms of access to technology, it's starting from the IT technology mapping exercise carried out by the whole consortium. In terms of ecosystem development, it articulates to our value chain coalition setup, and the access to bioresources. This links very well with what you will see later on, the tool, the bioresources tool that you will have the pleasure to see in a few minutes. Next slide, please. So Ireland, to be honest, Ireland is an agricultural powerhouse. Ireland has such a vast amount of lands and sea compared to its population. It does not strike that 90% of its agricultural output are exported. In that context, there is a big portfolio of biomass available, being that plant-based materials such as straw or processed brewed grains, as well as animal side products, either from dairy or meat industry, or to use a bit kingdom nomenclature, animal, plant, and mushrooms. Indeed, there is a very strong mushroom industry, both in the hub and in the north. Next, please. As we said, it's a digital innovation hub, and it's centered in the model demonstrator region, whose center is the Lishin former mine being converted into a bioeconomy campus, where also the AgriCanway flagship is based. But what is a hub without a network? And that's why you see this slide with 2 key pictures. One on the left is showing what it used to be, the mine, and what on the right shows the current map of the stakeholders active in the bioeconomy. The red ones are IBF members, the green ones are future IBF members. What we want to achieve, and we are happy to announce that we've been recently funded by Intertrade UK Ireland initiative to make sure that those parties are engaged even more, even beyond the duration of this project that is almost finished. And we will leverage strongly our new funding to make sure that as many stakeholders as possible in both sides of the borders will be engaging with the bioresources tool developed within the Irish bioeconomy region and the ICT-BIOCHAIN project. Next, please. For the sake of time, I will only touch upon how the hub, digital innovation hub, or other hubs will tend to generate a network effect. Ireland wasn't new to initiative in bioeconomy, the bio-air tradition, the Shannon ABC tradition, but success breeds success, and leveraging on AgriCanway flagship and other more recent initiatives such as the BioOrbic, which is a federation of research centers, or the recent demo biorefinery glass, you will see stakeholders engaging more and more among each other, either as biomass suppliers or converters, as well as more and more IT suppliers as per core mission of ICT-BIOCHAIN. Next, please. Overall, this is mainly providing you a 3 minutes overview of the Digital Innovation Hub of Ireland, and it's mostly an occasion for a call for intervention should you be interested in engaging with Irish bioresources or the Irish stakeholders for technology providers. Please do not hesitate to contact us and myself. It's Filippo at bioeconomyfoundation.com. Happy to discuss any topic. We will quickly understand if we can proceed together. Thank you very much, Jennifer, for moderating so far.
Thanks, Filippo. Thank you very much. So now we'll move on to the STAR-ProBio introduction from Luana Lada, who is from the Technical University of Berlin. And so, Luana, I'll pass it on to you now.
Yes, thank you, Jennifer, for the nice introduction, and good morning to everyone for participating in this workshop today. And so I will give you an introduction of the STAR-ProBio project, an overview of the main results. Next, please. Okay, the STAR-ProBio is a project that involves 15 partners in 11 European countries. It's a 3-year funded project, started in May 2017, and it ended actually this month. And next, please. Basically, the topic of the project that we addressed was sustainability schemes for the bio-based economy. And the main goal of the project is to contribute to the development and use of a sustainability assessment scheme for bio-based products. So contributing to provide a clear evidence-based view of the economic, social, and environmental impacts or benefit that bio-based products have. So basically, we aim at providing a fit-for-purpose sustainability scheme, including also some outputs in regards to standardizations and also some contribution in terms of eco-labeling suggestions, and also how to use certification for bio-based products, therefore promoting somehow the market uptake of bio-based products. Next, please. Basically, the project was divided in 11 work packages, and at the beginning, what we did, we conducted a gap analysis, so a screening of existing certification schemes, because the objective was not to reinvent anything new, but was to use what is already there. And also we involved different stakeholders with different consultations, and we also conducted an analysis of the standards already available. And then we had in parallel different work packages working in the technical part of the sustainability assessment. So the 3 pillars, social, environmental, and economic pillars, also with circularity, and also addressing the ILUC effects. And we did this basically using a bottom-up approach with different case studies. So we selected the case studies at the beginning of the project, and then all the results, they led to some tools that we are now finalizing. Actually, they are already involved in a report that is already submitted this month. And basically, the idea is to contribute with different tools in assessing sustainability of bio-based products. And we also involve, as I said, different stakeholders, and also our results are disseminated in different activities, also papers, scientific papers, and conference, for example. And also we have a policy related part of the project that, for example, look at the monitoring activities for the bio-based economy, but also eco-labels and how can we improve, for example, eco-label criteria for involving more bio-based products, and also the idea to develop some documents for standardization work. Next, please. Sorry, Next, thank you. Regarding the methods, so we adopted different methods for this project. So here you can see the 3 pillars: environmental, social, and economics. And for environmental parts, we use a lot of the LCA methodology, combined with other metrics, of course, and also the iLook model. We developed a model for assessing the indirect land use change impact of bio-based products. And we also, for the social part, we applied a social LCA, and together with stakeholder consultations, and also with the value chain, involving different actors of the value chain. And for the economic part, we adopted the life cycle costings, and for the market assessment part, we conducted a Delphi survey with 3 rounds and also a field experiment. And we also somehow show how the project contributes achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, and which one. Next, please. Just to give you an example, this is the environmental sustainability. Basically was divided in 2 work packages. One was looking at the upstream sustainability, and the other one on the downstream sustainability, environmental sustainability. And the aim of the environmental sustainability was to provide a framework for assessing the environmental aspects, covering the different stage between the manufacturing and end of life as well of the bio-based products. And the indicators are drawn from LCA methodologies, but also from principle of green chemistry and circularity. And they were adopted, and some indicators were also developed when we were lacking. So as the result of the gap analysis. And basically, you can see here on the right side, for example, which one are the LCA impact categories that we proposed in the project. For example, the global warming potential, particulate matter, acidification, and so on. So we have different aspects that were identified by the technical work packages, saying where there is a measure, a need to assess sustainability, and so this one was like the way we operated. Next, please. Just to give you a review of the market assessment, this work package was led by TU Berlin, and the aim was to identify sustainability preferences of different consumer groups. So not only private consumer, but also governments and business. A focus was given also to the public procurers. And the idea was to see what is relevant for them when they buy bio-based products. And so what we did, we adopted a Delphi methodology with 3 rounds for the professionals, in which we got 344 answers in the first round, 100 in the second round, and 14 in the third round. 41, sorry. And then for the consumers, we did 2 Delphi rounds with 744 answers for the first one and 80 for the second. But we also coupled this with a field experiment that was conducted in the IKEA store in Bari. And basically, this field experiment aimed at analyzing the propensity to buy bio-based products and to see how this propensity changes in regards to product characteristics, for example, performance, of course, but also the labeling, for example, of the product. And I couldn't put too many results here, but what resulted from the Delphi was that, of course, all the different elements count when they buy bio-based products. However, they give more emphasis to environmental indicators. All the 3 categories analyzed, and but you can find all the reports in our webpage, and there we also provide an overview of which one are the more relevant indicators that they resulted from this analysis. And regarding the main result of the field experiment was the presence of a green premium for both bio-based and certified bio-based products. And usually the presence of a certification or a label is more increased the willingness to buy bio-based products. And next, please. So basically, the project did a lot because we have different work packages and different stakeholders, and so the idea was we work in a technical work packages to develop something that we then use to elaborate different tools that can be used to contribute basically to the assessment of bio-based products. And so basically one is the ICT-BIOCHAIN framework. This one is one of the major tools of the project. Is a framework, and this includes two tools. One is a sustainability assessment tool that I will later present again in detail, and is one of the major tools for assessing sustainability basically that we are proposing. And the second one is the sustainability certification tools. So the second one, SCT, is more looking at how we can provide tools for certifiers of bio-based products, and this includes a benchmarking platform comparing different existing certification tools, but also provides framework rules and also building blocks. And those building blocks, the idea is that we provide fact sheets for each indicator, and basically the idea is that they can be used by existing certification schemes where they are lacking those indicators. For example, as I said before, maybe linked to ILUC related indicators can be used, the result of the project, for example. And another an important thing of our ICT-BIOCHAIN framework is that the EIT will be also is being already prepared in a standardization document with the help of NEN. They were subcontracted by TU Berlin. And basically the idea is that we develop a fast track documentation out of our integrated assessment tool. And another important tool is the ICT-ProBio, and basically is a smart tool for policy analysis of bio-based products. And this is also already, the report is already submitted, and this is based on a system dynamic model. And the examples are given mostly for PLA because it was one of the case studies of our project. And we also have a second system dynamic model, is the SID ILUC. And basically this is based on the undirected land use change model, and is a dynamic causal descriptive model, and estimates basically the future global land demand based on projection of bio-based product policies. And this one it includes 3 levels. So there is an assessment of the ILUC of the biomass itself, but there is also a level of including the production processes and the use of the bio-based product. And I invite you to have a look maybe at the webpage ICT-BIOCHAIN.eu, and then you will find all the deliverables with much more information. And also we will have a final workshop on the 28th of April this month. So I would like to invite you to participate to that. And later you will find information about this event also in the slides. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Luana. Yes, now moving on to the ICT-BIOCHAIN platform. So now we'll hear from Timo Erler from Fraunhofer to introduce the platform. Timo, I'll pass on to you.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. The ICT-BIOCHAIN platform is actually a prototype we developed during the project based on a software architecture. If you can skip to the next slide, please. Okay, so our prototype is split it in 2 parts. On the one hand, we offer the opportunity to search and filter ICT solutions, and in the second option, we offer the opportunity to showcase a biomass data story. So what we are talking about here is that we have some deliverables during the project where we put out some state-of-the-art technologies regarding ICT-BIOCHAIN. And we also did what kind of characteristics we want to know about the ICT solutions. So that are those deliverables that are the main part for the ICT solution functionality. On the other hand, we have our model demonstrator regions you already get to know in the first slides, and that are the base for the biomass data story. And all the knowledge we are storing in a small amount in the prototype is also stored in the Digital Innovation Hub. So if you need any further information, you can get in contact with the Digital Innovation Hubs to get answers to more specific questions. Next slide, please. Okay, so now I want to do some user journey with you. So I take the role as an biomass user, and I browse platform ICT-BIOCHAIN.eu, and there I can see the link to platform, and as I said, 2 parts, ICT solutions and biomass data story. So at the first start, I want to inform myself about technologies regarding ICT solutions. So I click on the ICT solutions, and then I will see on the next slide an overview about all the technologies we found out during the project. So our deliverable 1.1, all the state-of-the-art technologies we found out, 84 currently. And then I can search, I can filter, and I have the result list. For example, I want to know more about the technologies in the domain foresting. So on the next slide, I will enter the search term forest. And also I want to get more information about products, not about ideas or prototypes or something else. So I select the filter technology readiness level by 9. So it's a complete product that you can buy from the market. And I can select, for example, Felix Forest, a solution from Austria. And on the next slide, I will see a detailed page for this technology. So I can see who's the inventor of this, in which country is it on the market, what is the website, how can I get in contact with the people, some general information, some extra information, and also what kind of area of application it is. Here it is forestry. So that is how we can get through our multi-paged deliverable by searching and filtering for ICT solutions. On the next slide, we will move on to the biomass data story. The biomass data story showcases the 2 model demonstrator regions in Andalusia and Southeast Ireland. So on the next slide, you will see an overview about what the current prototype is able to show you. So we did an stacked bar chart for arisings of material per region. So on the top of the side, you will see an explanation that offers you a small and a short explanation how to use the prototype. On the left side, you will have the regions, Andalusia and Southeast Ireland. So you can select sub-regions like Cadiz or something else. In the center of the page, you will see the stacked bar chart and also a legend that tells you what kind of materials are shown. And at the bottom of the page, you have 2 more options. So you can get a protein heat map for either Andalusia or Southeast Ireland, or you can get in contact with the Digital Innovation Hubs. So that is what I said, we only offer a short amount of functionality and information in this prototype. And if you have more detailed questions, something like that, you can get in contact with the experts from the Digital Innovation Hub. So as a user, I now take a short journey by clicking on the next slide some regions. So first, if I move with my mouse over the stacked bar charts, I get the detailed number of arising. For example, 120,000 of wood for the region Gen. And then I can click on the left side. So on the next slide, you will see that we deselect some regions to get more information about Ameria, Cadiz, and Co. We also can see now, okay, I see a lot of Grenada, Malaga, and Sevilla, but I want to know more about Cadiz. So yeah, on this side, we see Ameria, Cadiz, and Huelva. And I can see, okay, it's wood, pit, and the leaves and branch. I can also switch on the next slide to Southeast Ireland. So currently, there we demonstrate the arisings of broadleaf in the region Carlow, Kilkenny, Waterford, and Wexford. And the last option I offered at the beginning is on the next slide that we can show a protein heat map. Here, for example, the region Ireland. So if you have selected Ireland on the stacked bar chart, the click on the protein heat map will show you the protein heat map for Ireland. And if you selected Andalusia or some subregions of Andalusia, you will see the protein heat map for Andalusia. As I said at the beginning, this is a prototype and the project is still ongoing. So in the next 2 months, you will find some adjustments, some additional functionality. For example, we want to offer the opportunity that you can see materials by a specific value chain, for example, olive for Andalusia. So this prototype will be still in developing until the end of the project. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Timo, for that overview of the platform. So next we'll be moving on to the STAR-ProBio.
Hello. Okay. Yes. Thank you. I will present.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So Luana, you can introduce the STAR-ProBio sustainability assessment tool.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you. So I would like to present this IAT integrated assessment tool. Next page, please. Okay, so basically the purpose of this tool is to provide guidance on how to conduct an assessment of bio-based products, addressing the entire life cycle and addressing the most relevant sustainability aspects as derived by the STAR-ProBio project. So the idea is to provide companies with this tool that they can be used for conducting internal sustainability assessment of the products for different purposes. Can be, for example, for benchmarking, or for eco-design, or for sustainability qualification purpose, and also basically you can use this also for comparing two products, maybe a bio-based with a fossil-based products. And sorry, can you hear me? Because I just got a message from somebody that cannot hear us.
I can hear you. We can hear you, Luana.
Okay, so basically we also highlighted in our document how this IAT can support the achievement of some of the SDGs, actually most of the SDGs. So basically one of the most important elements of this tool that we propose is a scoring system that allows to see how well the bio-based product is performing, and also we have basically also a scheme as like a tool to show how it is performing in a visualization way. I will show you this later. So what is important to say is that the IAT has a strong focus on applicability and business relevance. So we try to make a tool that is very close to the companies, and basically it is a way that can also be used later toward certification. So, but we're preparing the companies toward a second step to get certified maybe. But for now, the idea is to give them a tool that can be used like very close to them. Okay, so next, please. So basically, what we did with this document, with this tool, we used all the results of our project and we translated them in an innovative development in an applicable integrated assessment tool that includes 48 indicators, 24 principles, and 32 criteria. And basically, the idea was to use all the technical work done in the project. So as a basis, we use the deliverables, but also we complemented this with existing other certification scheme, for example. And we developed, first of all, a matrix. In this matrix, we prepare principle, criteria, and indicators. So following the standard from SEN, TC 411, EN 16751 was like used as a model. And then in this document that we develop, you find all the metrics and methodologies and on how to measure the indicators and also how to collect the data. So the applicant, that will be, in this case, the bio-based product producer, they have a methodology on how to collect the data and also with the questionnaires attached in the document. And we also have a reference product because the idea is that you need to you can evaluate the performance or in that specific indicator based on the expected expectation. So what do you expect from this indicator and how the indicator should perform? If you compare it with a reference product, you say, okay, I want that this indicator, the value should be below the value of the reference product, for example. And very important is also the scoring system. And the scoring system, I will tell you also later, we decided for now to give a certain value to all the qualitative indicators and another value to the quantitative indicators. However, all of those discussions, they still need to be improved because they need an engagement with much many stakeholders. And but very important the way we communicate the results. And I will explain you this in a bit. Next, please. So basically, the pillars include social, economic, environmental, but also include different indicators linked to circularity that address basically the different areas, and also ILUC risks. And the life cycle thinking approach, so we include the 6 stages. So from biomass production, basically to end of life, 6 of them. And what is very important is a compromise between applicability of the tool and the coverage of areas of concern. And as I said before, we use the standard EN 16751 as a way to use the same style for principle and criteria and indicators. However, we try to go beyond this reporting framework of SEN because basically we try to provide the metrics. So, and this one was based on the gap analysis conducted at the beginning of the project, where they told us we wish that this standard will be used. So what we try to do, we try to operationalize this standard. And the IAT adopts different methodologies, including existing methodologies, including the LCA for the environmental part, but also, for example, for the soil erosion, we use the Russell's method, and for the affected biodiversity, the method provided by JRC. And also, we developed a tool. So Unibo, the university in Bologna, developed a tool for evaluating the ILUC risk. And then for the social part, we adopted the social LCA, following the methodology of the Handbook for Product Social Impact Assessment. And then we have the environmental life cycle costing that is related to the economic assessment of the life cycle costing. And then we have circularity principle and metrics. Next, please. So as I said before, the areas of protection are those identified by the work packages. And if you remember when I showed you before the environmental results, this is the left part of this first figure, the environmental pillar. So those are all the areas that they believe to be that they need to be considered. And so basically, as you can see, we have soil erosion, acidification, water scarcity. So we have those areas of protection. Also for the social part, identify 14 areas of protection. For the economic and circularity, we had also different areas, and some of them are overlapping, of course, but we categorize in this in this figure. They are all in the circularity. We have only one for the economic aspect, but some of them are they overlap. And basically, we developed 24 principles. As you can see, the first principle is mitigate climate change, promote good air quality, conserve and protect water resources, and protect the soil, and also promote the efficient use of energy resources, and also promote biodiversity, basically, and minimize the impact on human health. And those are all linked to the environmental pillar. Then we have the ILUC, basically the number 8, and then we start with the from 9 on are the circularity indicators. So promote responsible use of high concern materials, promote the use of renewable material, promote the use of material circularity, and promote good waste management, and promote efficient use of energy, and promote the use of renewable energy resources, and also the minimization of life cycle costs for the economic part. And then all the others are linked to the social pillars. So respect labor rights, respect health and safety of end users, and also of local communities, and also, for example, respect land use right and food security, of course, and promote fair competition in the market. Next, please. So as I said before, one of the elements of this tool is this matrix, and you can find this in the deliverable 8.2 of the STAR-ProBio project in the web page. And basically, the matrix includes, it shows like the principal criteria and indicator for each area, and it indicates which life cycle stage is considered. For example, if you have for the first one, you can see that in this matrix we added to the environmental indicators that are quantitative based on LCA, 11 of them. We added for each of them a qualitative indicators, so usually referring to the presence of policies. And then we also indicated the threshold. Here is indicated, as I said before, what is the expectation for this indicator? How should this indicator perform? For example, for the global warming potential, has to be below the value of the reference product. Regarding the policies, it's usually a yes or no answer. But so this matrix gives an overview of what is the expected expectation, and if the type of indicator, if it's like quantitative or qualitative, and also comparability. Can we compare this indicator to compare also fossil-based products? And for some of them, of course, for ILUC, for example, there is no comparability with fossil-based products, and also it's very relevant to see which area of the life cycle we addressed in this for each indicator. And you can see that some of them are measure must. For example, the global warming potential is a measure must, because having 48 indicators, then we also thought about, okay, how many of those indicators should be measure must? And of course, we propose in the project like a suggestion for doing this. However, we invite stakeholders to maybe provide maybe a better understanding of which one should be measure must, for example. So we provide the view of the project, of course. And next, please. So just to give you an example, as I said before, the principle mitigating climate change, then you have the criteria. The economic operator provides information on how greenhouse gas emissions associated with their operation are managed. And then you have the indicators, 2 indicators. One is qualitative, and it's linked to the procedures taken by the company to minimize greenhouse gas emissions, and this refers to stage 3 and 4. So they need to provide us this information, both stages. And the quantitative is the LCA, creditor grade GVP analysis, and is a measure must. So the method is creditor grade, and the threshold in this case, we said that the GVP of the bio-based product has to be below the value of the reference product. If you see this image here, we have the reference product in the the horizontal line, the thicker line basically, and if the result of each indicator, you can see they are all here, the LCA indicators, if the result of the indicator is below the reference product, so you get a score basically. In this case, we have the result. You can see the red circle is below the line, so you got a point in this case. Next, please. Okay, this one is the last slide. So as I told you before, we have this way of communicating the result to visualize how this bio-based product is performing. And you can see, it's a bit small, I'm sorry for that, but you can see, so at the beginning, on the top, you have the life cycle stages, and then the first block under this one is the qualitative indicators. We put them together, the qualitative indicator for the environmental, circular, and economic part, and all of those are yes or no conditions. And as you can see, they don't apply to all the stages of the value chain. And so, and then the way you calculate the value, usually we consider also, you will see everything in the document, we consider the share of biomass, the representativeness of the biomass, but also the share of the answer. Let's say the questionnaire are sent to maybe somehow to 70% of the stakeholders, but then you only get some answers, so not all of them. So you do like all of those calculations to get these values, and basically the other block under that one is the result of the LCA. So you have 9 LCA indicators, and there is the discussion with the reference product. And then if you get for each point below the line, you get the point. In this case, you have 5 of them scoring better. And then regarding the biomass, the 2 biomass production, we have 2 semi-quantitative indicators that are related to affected biodiversity and soil erosion, and the value should be below the interval of 30%. So for ILUC, we have 3 categories: low, medium, or high ILUC risk. And for the social part, it is the same. It's based on questionnaires, and the questionnaire are sent back to all the steps of the value chain, and based on the result, you apply all the formulas and you get your score. And also for the life cycle costing, and for the circularity, some of them are based, for example, on the yes or no, for example, the presence of hazardous substances, and some of them are based on the result of calculations, and we propose the expected values that we call in this way threshold for almost each of the indicators. And then we analyze the performance based on this. And then at the end, you get the overall score. In this case, is 75 out of 105. And this one is linked to a line where you can see where you are performing. The maximum is 105, you are 75, so it's not so bad. But there is also a possibility to perform even better or even less. Okay, I think my time is run out, and this was also the last slide. And I know this one is just for explaining how the calculation was done, but there is no time for this. And I would like to give space maybe to questions.
Thank you. Thanks, Laura. So thank you very much for that overview, and thank you also to Timo. I think my microphone was muted at the end of your talk, but thank you both for your overviews. So next we'll be moving on to the roadmap overview from the ICT-BIOCHAIN project. So now I'll introduce Gloria de la Vina from CTA, which is the Technological Corporation of Andalusia. And Gloria, we are running out of time, so if as short as you can keep it would be better. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer, for introduction. Thank you, everybody, for attending this webinar. I'm going back to the ICT-BIOCHAIN project. I'm going to try to show you something that could be very interesting for you, because it's a roadmap overview and conclusion about how to build yourself your digital innovation hub in your region. Next, yeah. So first of all, why to do it? It's very important to know that it's completely proved that the digital innovation has key tools to contribute to regional development, to upgrade and support the innovation, of course, to link actors and boost commercial opportunities. So that is applicable to any type of digital innovation hub, of course, in bioeconomy as well. Next. Next. Next, please. Thank you. So how we proceed, how we work as a team, you know, in the ICT-BIOCHAIN project consortium. This is very important. I want to give you an overview about that. We were working all the time together. We were all the time sharing our perspectives. We were doing a lot of previous things, you know, instead of to define our schemes on our own. We were collaborating, Ireland and Andalusia. This is very important, okay? So to define the digital structure, to draw a stakeholder engagement plan, to then go to establish the steps to build up a digital innovation hub and mobilize it and find support sources for it and get conclusions about how to do it more efficiently, more effectively. All of that were done all through the project and working together. And then our intention was that, of course, give you all the steps, the key steps that could be useful for any region in Europe, but at the same time effective and flexible, because you have to customize this type of roadmap for yourself, okay? And we wanted to be flexible, to give indications that could allow that. So please, next. Next, please. So here you go, what are the basic steps to establish a digital innovation hub for bioeconomy in our experience, okay? Regional baseline analysis is fundamental. So know the previous initiatives in the region, existing in the region, apply to bioeconomy or apply to any other sector, okay? Then find out what are your risks and the barrier mitigation plan that you should apply in each type of risks. We defined three different groups of risks that are the fact that you could have a limited information availability about your region, that could be difficult to get engaged the stakeholders that you want to involve in the digital innovation hub because of previous experiences were not successful or for many other reasons. And of course, the digital innovation hub definition, because you had to be inclusive, you had to collaborate with many stakeholders in the region, okay? And then you are ready to define a structure and plan a stakeholder engagement actions, and of course, to mobilize the digital innovation hub and find out about resources. Next, please. Next, please. Hello? Thank you. So here you go, a very general digital structure definition that we defined it. First of all, the structure of the ICT-BIOCHAIN Digital Innovation Hub is very simple. It has just a leader, that is the Digital Innovation Hub manager, that collaborates with a steering committee that is formed by the different advisors, by resource advisor, or several by resource advisors, depending on the case, and as ICT advisor, a business advisor, and of course working link with a competence center that provides very high level competences about ICT solutions and research and technologies, and then of course as well, if you are not don't have an available competence center, you can create or try to consolidate at a local network of researchers that could have that role. Okay. very important to link all this structure in an umbrella that is the regional digital umbrella that is constituted by different actions that are in the region that should be taken into account. You should link with it. It should be included in it. Next. Next, please. Thank you. So how to engage?
It takes some time, Gloria.
Sorry. Okay, I carry on. So first of all, the stakeholders engagement plan. Very important to define the profiles of each stakeholder. We define 3: biomass-related companies, companies with ICT, EOT, or 4.0 industry solutions, and others that could be universities or public administration, etc. Okay, it's important to have those profiles very clear because you have to tailor-made your communication materials, your key messages for each of them in order to get them on board, okay, to join the Digital Innovation Hubs. So key messages is also very important. The Digital Innovation Hubs act as a one-stop shop offering access, competences, infrastructures, training, networking, etc. It's a very good message that can be transversal, but also you can tailor this important message depending on the type of stakeholder you want to engage. Okay, and then of course the preference of each type of stakeholders in terms of getting affairs communication and getting to talk to them, to email them. You have to be sure that your emails, some of them prefer email, some of them prefer phone call, or the contact person of the hub to reach them. It's also a very important issue. Should be the one that has a really close relationship with the stakeholder, the person exactly that you want to contact, and of course the timing, better, closer to the launching of the hub. Thank you. Next. Thank you. So how to dynamize, so how to get into operation the Digital Innovation Hub? Okay, of course, there are many ways to do it, but we defined 4 different types of events. The launching event, of course, that we merged with the knowledge transfer event because we were providing bigger value to the attendees. So it was very interesting to do it that way. We were presenting the hub to everybody, showing the benefits and also showing the capacities of the ICT solutions around the region. And in the knowledge transfer part of this event, we were providing pitches, technologies, presentations, and providing always a networking space, which is very important, where they could interact, the ICT sector could interact with the biomass-related companies. Then the demo day. After knowing what is around in the region, it's very important to show the people that is already happening in the regions. So we were designing a demo day with visiting biomass industries to watch on the spot ICT potentials on site. Finally, we designed an investor day where we were trying to put in front of the investors the capacities, the ideas of ICT applications that were in the region, and also other financial sources that could be public origin in the region. Okay, this is all related always with networking, with trying to build up value chains. So of course we were very much next please. We were very much also involved in building value chain coalitions between the ICT sector and biomass related companies. We were recording possibilities for that in questionnaires. We were running, through all these events, and then trying to make that happen by email, to put in contact the people, to be aware that who were demanding what. Okay. Next. In this way, we were really trying to to show the people what were the benefits to be involved in a hub like this. And these are the major lessons learned that we got out of our experience in ICT-BIOCHAIN project. Very important customized stakeholder messages, as I already mentioned. Also very important, make the stakeholder as part of the steering committee, okay? So key stakeholders should be in the steering committee in order to get credibility, to get reputation, to get the possibility to engage different industrial sectors, public sectors in the innovation hub, which is really important. And then the services, you know, the added value that we should be showing in the hub is has to be in mind that the target are the needs of the biomass related companies, okay, and of course focus on outreach and provide services to SMEs and companies that are not yet in the network. So to the networking, to show the people that they can find in the hub, in the operation of the hub, in the different activities of the hub, new people, new possibilities of business is fundamental. At the lunch event, something that really worked very well is that acknowledge the workshop sessions where biomass companies express their needs and ICT providers show available solutions and opportunities. That was really a very, very good framework to engage people and to make attendees to be happy at the end of the events. Finally, events should be designed using a flexible approach. So you have to have always a kind of a second plan in your hand because it can rain and then everything is delayed when you are doing the demo day, or the people are not very busy and if you schedule activities in the afternoon, that is not going to be very, very effective. People tend to leave the event. So there are many little things like that that we have listed in order to be really effective and you know, and satisfy the expectations of the attendees. Next, please. Next. Okay, so that's it. Thank you very much, everybody, for your attention. Please contact us as soon as you want to have more details about any of the aspects I just commented. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Gloria. Thanks for your talk. I'll make a short note now. We have 2 events coming up. So STAR-ProBio has their final workshop, which is on the 28th of this month from 10 till 12:30, and that's on assessing sustainability in bio-based products and where do we stand. So I just want to talk about that. And if you would like to attend, you can send an email. There's the information there on the slide, and everyone will be receiving the slides. And then also ICT-BIOCHAIN is having its final conference, which will also be online, of course, where we'll present all of our results and the lessons learned. And there is an Eventbrite page there, so there's the link at the bottom, and this will be on the 28th of May. So we'll move on to the question and answer session. I think all of the questions that have been put into the chat have been answered already. So maybe for time purposes, we can skip this, but you can continue to put your questions in there if you like, and we can come back to them. So I think we can move on to the feedback session now. So this is an interactive feedback session, which should be quite fun. So I'll put the instructions on here. So if you grab your phones on or your laptops or whatever device you're using at the moment, and you go to www.menti.com, and then you put in the code 574040. And you can vote over there. So you should be able to see this screen when you log on, and then people's results can start to show up. So we'll just give some time now for people to start filling that out. Question is whether you found this webinar interesting. The content of the webinars you can put from whether you strongly disagree to whether you strongly agree, or anywhere in between. Whether you'd like to see a similar digital innovation hub in your region, whether you found the bioresource platform tool useful, whether the quality of the webinar was satisfactory, and whether you thought that the GoToMeeting software was a good choice. and whether it was easy to use. So I see quite a few people are putting in their responses. Thank you very much. There's 15, 16 so far. And in the meantime, I will move on to the next question as well. So the next question is how you found out about this event. So we just kind of like to receive some feedback about that. So for future events, we'll know what's best to do. Most people found out about the event by email and through the websites and through LinkedIn. Perfect. So thank you everyone for filling in your feedback. That seems to be very good, positive feedback for everyone. So we really appreciate that, and we're really happy that you found this interesting. So I'll end today's event. I'd like to say thank you to everyone for attending, for giving your feedback, for asking your questions. As we say, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send them on. There's some contact information here. I see the STAR-ProBio email address is missing, so we'll just add that in and we'll send that to everybody. But thank you all for your attention and for your time, and please do get in touch with any questions. So bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.